I am Mira Solis, the patient-centered voice of Fractional Precision Operations. Precision Patient Services is where care meets coordination. A unified system designed to support every patient, every sample, and every logistical step with quiet, dependable precision. Within this ecosystem, the Travel Velocity Tracker and Patient Services Orchestrator work together to illuminate burdens, monitor movement, and ensure no patient slips through the cracks. What you're about to see is how compassionate intelligence becomes operational power, transforming complex journeys into seamless, supported pathways. Welcome to Precision Patient Services, where care is coordinated with absolute clarity.
Okay, so if you've ever worked in clinical operations, you know this feeling, right? Samples just vanish, patient logistics are a complete mess of emails and spreadsheets, and everything just feels totally chaotic. Well, today, we're going to dive into a system that's designed to take all that chaos and turn it into a streamlined, centralized command center. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about that black hole problem that I'm sure you know all too well. Then, we'll introduce the command center solution. After that, we'll do a deep dive into its two main tools, one for tracking samples and one for orchestrating patient care. And finally, we'll wrap up with the absolute best practices to make sure you succeed. All right, let's start by putting a name to that feeling of just utter frustration. The source material calls it the clinical trial black hole, and honestly, it's the perfect way to describe what happens when critical information just seems to disappear into thin air.
This is the question that keeps study managers up at night, isn't it? A priceless sample leaves the site, and suddenly it's in this logistical maze of couriers and customs forms, and you're just left there wondering, hoping it arrives safely, on time, and still viable.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? The old way isn't just messy, it's incredibly expensive. It's this patchwork of different tools that don't talk to each other, which leads to things like lost samples or canceled patient visits. But the PPO way, it brings everything together, giving you total visibility and, maybe most importantly, real control over your budget. So, how do we get from that state of chaos to a state of command? Well, the answer is a whole new approach called Precision Patient Operations, or PPO for short.
And PPO is exactly what it sounds like. It's your command center. I want you to think of it like a mission control room, giving you that complete top-down view of absolutely everything that's happening with your patient and their samples.
So the real magic here is that PPO acts as this incredible bridge. It connects your clinical sites, all your different vendors, and your labs, which, as you know, are so often stuck in their own silos. And it does all of this through one unified dashboard that houses two really powerful, specialized tools.
And here they are, the two heavy hitters. First, you've got the Sample Velocity Tracker, or SVT. This is literally your air traffic control for every single sample. Then you have the Patient Services Orchestrator, or PSO, which is your central hub for all things patient logistics and the money that goes with it. Let's take a closer look at each one.
All right, first up, the SVT. We're about to see how this tool gives you that air traffic control level of precision over every single sample in your study. No exceptions.
And this right here, this is the promise of the entire system, all wrapped up in one powerful motto. It is all about accountability and certainty. No more guessing, no more just hoping for the best. You know where everything is.
So what does it actually do? Well, the SVT gives you a complete, unbroken chain of custody from the second a sample is collected to the moment it's analyzed. It keeps an eye on those critical turnaround times, and, this is huge, it flags potential risks for you in real time before they can become massive problems.
The SVT is just packed with features that are designed to keep you in control. You've got the Live Sample Manifest, which gives you one single source of truth. Goodbye spreadsheet madness. The Risk Dashboard immediately points out any potential issues, so you know exactly where to focus your attention. And with tools like automated chase emails and turnaround time monitoring, you get to be proactive instead of just reactive.
Okay, picture this. You log in, first thing in the morning, and the dashboard immediately shows you this: 5 active risks. Your attention is instantly pulled to the 5 things that could derail your study today. You don't have to go digging for problems. They're right there.
And what's one of those risks? Boom, customs hold. The system doesn't just give you a number. It tells you exactly what the issue is and where it is so you can take immediate, targeted action. That's the power of real visibility. Now, you might be thinking, a system this powerful has got to be complicated, right? But it's not. Logging a new sample is just a simple 5-step process. You launch the tracker, open the form, punch in the key details, set the status to collected, and hit save. It's built for speed and accuracy right from the clinical site.
Okay, so we've got the samples totally locked down. But what about the other side of the logistics coin, the patient experience? This is where the Patient Services Orchestrator, or PSO, comes into play.
The PSO is all about bringing order to the complicated world of patient support services. You know, stuff like booking travel, handling expense reimbursements, and coordinating with home health vendors. It manages both the logistics and the financials all in one place.
And the features here make it all seamless. Think about it. A centralized service request log. That means a patient's ride to the clinic never gets missed because the request got buried in an email inbox. And the real-time spend analysis lets you see exactly where your budget is going, preventing those nasty financial surprises at the end of the study. It's all about total control.
And yep, just like the SVT, the workflow here is incredibly simple. Launch the tool, open a request, fill in the details, submit it for approval, and save. It takes what used to be a really complex, multi-step process and turns it into a simple, trackable task that everyone can see.
Okay, so you've got these two incredibly powerful tools. Now, how do you make sure you're using them to their absolute full potential? Let's go over the 4 essential best practices for truly making that shift from chaos to command.
These are your keys to the kingdom. First, and this is a big one, enter data in real time. The system's value is all about its speed. Second, that airway bill number is everything. Double and triple check it. It is the absolute linchpin for tracking. Third, use the notes field. Documenting context will save you so many headaches later. And finally, a quick 5-minute daily review of risks and approvals is the single best habit you can build to prevent huge problems down the line.
By bringing everything into one central command center, the PPO system is really designed to replace that awful feeling of chaotic uncertainty with the confidence that comes from total control. It gets rid of the black holes and empowers your team with the day-to-day need right when they need it. So the only question left is, are you ready to take command?